Hello. This week for migrating animals, we're learning about an insect that goes on an amazing journey. It has a really interesting life cycle, and there's some mystery involved also. So that's pretty cool. Um, so it you'll need this book for today. Then we'll keep using this book. It's almost like our mover and shakers book, but it's about migrating animals, and we'll add a little bit each day, and we'll have a few different animals that we'll work on. So it says migrating animals, and then these are examples of migrating animals. Up here, it's caribou, great white shark, monarch. There's a zebra, gray whale, Arctic terns, and then it says by. Put your name here because you're the one who will be making this book. You'll be writing this book. Okay. So before we even look at our books, I want to start out today with a video. Actually, I have two videos I want to watch about the monarch butterfly. They're amazing. Watching these videos pretty much just blew me away. So let me share my screen with you and we will get going. So the first one is about 4 minutes long. Pull it up here. And it tells you a lot about butterflies. Here we go. About monarchs specifically, really. Aren't they beautiful? I mean, just look at them.
It's one of nature's great migrations, and also one of nature's great unsolved mysteries. Millions of monarch butterflies journey to the same place every year, some traveling more than 3,000 miles to get there. But it's also a place where none of these butterflies has ever been before.
Okay, so two important facts that I want you to remember. They migrate, some of them more than 3,000 miles. That is really super duper far. 3,000 miles, okay? That's about how far many of them migrate. And the other thing that the narrator mentioned was that these butterflies have never been here before. But this is the same place the butterflies come to year after year. But these particular butterflies have never been here before. Let's keep watching and learn some more.
However, before we could fully appreciate their Herculean travel odyssey, we had to first discover where it was they were going. These distinctive orange and black butterflies, the monarchs, are seen over large swaths of the United States. But every winter, they disappear, and we had no idea where they go until 1975. And then we discovered they were vacationing in Mexico. Right here, this is one of the reserves, Rosario.
Isn't it amazing? Look at that.
Magical here.
Magical is the word, yes. I would sure like to go there someday.
In central Mexico, some 60 miles west of Mexico City, forests of tall Oyamel fir trees, pines, and oaks provide the resort of choice for most vacationing monarchs. Butterflies from across the eastern United States and Canada congregate in 14 different small reserves nestled high in the mountains. The forests provide shelter from storms and high winds, but primarily the trees offer warmth. Butterflies cling to trunks and branches in numbers so great, trees disappear under a blanket of wings. On occasion, as many as 24 million monarchs have been clustered in a single acre of reserve.
24 million per acre.
Standing in the reserves, it can seem as if you're viewing an endless sea of butterflies. And the numbers are impressive, ranging from 70 to 100 million in recent years. That's a fraction of the estimated 1 billion monarchs wintering in Mexico in the 1990s. Storms, extreme temperatures, habitat loss, pesticides have all played a part in their decline, and yet they persist.
So the narrator is telling us something is happening to the butterflies where there aren't as many as there used to be.
This great insect migration is even more impressive and mysterious when you realize we have no idea how they know where to go. The monarchs here in Mexico are called the Methuselah generation, living 8 to 9 months, or the equivalent of about 600 human years.
What?
Born in the United States and Canada, none.
Okay, these butterflies live 8 to 9 months. Okay, just this generation. They're the lucky ones. Well, I would consider them lucky. They live a long life. They also have to make this long journey, right? But let's see, not all monarchs live 8 to 9 months.
Have ever been here before, but somehow they managed to fly to Mexico, survive the winter, and start the trip back north. They won't complete the journey. They will mate, give birth, and die. The next generation will revert to the typical monarch life expectancy of about 5 weeks, as will the following generation and the one after that.
So 5 weeks is 4 weeks is a typical month. Some months might have like 4.5 weeks. So typical lifespan is 1 month, but that one generation lives 8 to 9 months. So there's a generation of butterflies that lives 1 month, another one that lives 1 month, and another generation that lives 1 month. But then the next generation lives that huge long time of 8 to 9 months, which is pretty remarkable. That is a really neat adaptation these monarchs have.
It is that third generation after the Methuselahs that will finally arrive at the birthplace of their great-great-grandparents. It will be yet another generation of monarchs, the Methuselahs, who return to these forests next year. And again, they will navigate their way south using some unknown internal genetic GPS system. But perhaps years ago, the local Mexicans had the best explanation for the mystery of the migration. Back when we in North America were still wondering where the butterflies went in the winter, the Mexicans were wondering where they came from. And because the monarch's arrival was close to the time the locals celebrated the Day of the Dead, many came to believe the butterflies were the spirits of departed ancestors.
I like that thought. That's a nice one. That'd be neat to think of that, the butterflies as your ancestors. Okay, let me. Oh, sorry, everybody. I'm going to come back. Okay, it's me again. So fascinating information that we're learning about those butterflies. It takes many generations to complete one whole migration. So it's not just the same butterfly that migrates south to find a warm area for the winter, and then that butterfly migrates north again and then keeps doing it. No. There's a butterfly that migrates south and then stays over winter in Mexico where it's warm. Okay, they're migrating to find warmer temperatures. And then that butterfly, when things start warming up again, that butterfly is going to start the journey north. But it's not going to make it all the way back north. It's going to make it a little ways, and then it's going to mate and lay its eggs, and then it dies. Then that next butterfly hatches out as a caterpillar and goes through the transformation to becoming a monarch, and it travels, it continues the journey back to where it was, and then it happens again. Mates, lays eggs, that one dies. The next caterpillar hatches out, goes through the process of metamorphosis, becoming a butterfly, and that one keeps going. And then eventually one hatches out, right? And that's the one that's going to live for a long time. It's going to be the one that makes the journey down to Mexico. But has that one ever been there before? No, but it still knows where to go. That's the mystery. And that's what's so amazing about these monarchs, that it's never been here before. It was its great-great-great-grandparents that were there and then came back, and then it had another one. And then this one up here is the one that's going to do it all over again. How do they know how to do that? Maybe one day you'll grow up and be a scientist and you can study that. You can be a wildlife biologist and study that and figure out why that's happening. Okay, so I want to share another video with you. This one will tell you a little bit more about that life cycle of a monarch. It will just take me a moment to get out of this video. Hang on, everyone. This is the one we just watched. So I'm going to get us out of this one. Ooh. Okay, here we go. We'll get there. And it's this one. This one is like a kid's news show. So that's kind of cool. I think you'll like it. Kids News Break is what that says.
Welcome to Kids News Break. My name is Juan, and we're going to be talking about monarch butterflies. Called monarch butterflies because they are the king of butterflies. To become a butterfly, it takes a lot of hard work. It all starts with an egg on the milkweed plant. 4 days later, a larva hatches.
It's always a milkweed.
It only takes 2 weeks of eating that milkweed plant to become a fully grown caterpillar. The caterpillar finds a spot to attach itself so it can become a chrysalis. During these 10 days, an incredible amount of change is happening. That's called metamorphosis. Once complete, a beautiful monarch butterfly comes out and looks for wildflowers, its favorites. Each year, there are 4 generations of monarch butterflies. The first generation comes from eggs laid in March or April. Those butterflies will only live 2 to 6 weeks. The same thing happens with the eggs laid in May and July. Those are the second and third generations. Now the 4th generation is where it's different. These butterflies come from eggs laid in September, and they can live for 6 to 8 months. The reason that they live longer is because they need to migrate south to Mexico and California for the winter. In the spring, they return north to lay eggs on the milkweed plant and start the cycle again. Over to Nellie with the weather. There's a risk of thunderstorms. Thank you, Nellie. Did you know that the boy monarch butterfly has a black mark on each back wing and the girl monarch butterfly doesn't? They can fly up to 40 kilometers per hour, which maybe will make their 4,000 kilometer trip seem very long. Sadly, the monarch butterfly is starting to disappear. A lot of the milkweed where the butterflies lay their eggs and the caterpillars eat is being destroyed to make farms. Now that butterflies have nowhere to lay their eggs, and the few caterpillars that do hatch don't have anything to eat. A lot of people are trying to help the butterflies by planting milkweed and butterfly bushes in their yard. It's easy to do, and you can do it too. Do you have a butterfly bush or milkweed near you? If so, have you ever seen a monarch butterfly on it? Leave a comment down below. To watch this video in French, click here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
All right, everyone. Okay, we've learned some interesting facts about the monarch butterflies. I want you to remember that because I'm going to ask you to do some teaching at the end of today. Okay, I'm going to want you to teach a stuffy or your pet or your family about the monarch and what you remember about the monarch. So kind of keep those facts tucked away. For now, let's look at our book. So get out your book and we'll work on these together. Okay, so the first thing to do is to put your name on that front page. Migrating Animals by Becky. And if at some point you want to go back and color these animals, you may. Okay, then we're going to flip to the first page. And we're going to work on this page today. And this is a page where we'll add to it each time we do an animal. Well, there's 3 animals that we'll do throughout this book. So the migration map, it says. And today we're going to do the monarchs. So this is a key down here. And for the key, we will write the name of the animal and give it a color. And that's the color that we'll use to draw its journey, its migration journey up here on this map. So this map is going to show where these different animals or insects, where they migrate to and from. So I wrote monarchs. So you can pause me if you need to and copy that word. It's monarchs, monarchs. And for monarchs, I want you to pick a color. I'm picking orange since they are orange. So I think that would be a nice color. So then you can color in that box orange. And that will show us that wherever you see the orange lines on our map, that we are talking about monarchs and that's their path and their journey. So I want you to see. So if you finish this part, join me with us. If not, pause and finish that part. Then I want you to look up here. This is about where we live, like kind of like right over in this area. Okay, so right up there. Now, I put 3 dots. So see over here. Let me see. This is a little blurry, so it's a little bit hard. Okay, do you see how there's this little piece of land that comes down right here? You're going to kind of go down just a little bit from that and put a dot right here. Okay, and then I want you to come up here and see how there's this little lake here that pops down. You're just going to go a little bit over from that and put a dot. And then you're going to come this way a little bit and put a dot. Okay, and then what we're going to do, so this is down in Mexico, and this is the northern United States and up in Canada where these butterflies will migrate from. And we're going to draw a line from dot to dot, and then we'll just draw this line into that dot. Okay, so that's a migration route. And then there's another one. There are some monarch butterflies that live, see right in here. You don't have to draw this, but I'll just draw this. There's some mountains in the United States and Canada. So the monarchs that live on this side of the mountains come down here to Mexico. The monarchs that live over here on this side of the mountains come to California. So you can put a dot. You don't have to draw those mountains. I was just putting those in to show you for a minute. Okay, but see right here, you're going to come over here and make a dot and then make another dot right down there. And then we're going to connect those again with our orange. Okay, and now see how down here it's orange and it says monarchs. And then up here you can see the migration of the monarchs. So they start out up here in the north. And then when it gets too cold, they're making a trip to where it's warmer. These ones have a longer trip. Remember, some of them travel almost 3,000 miles. That is crazy. That's incredible. That's amazing. Magical. Remember that word magical when you get to see all the monarchs together? I'm going to try and remember that. Very magical. Okay, so go ahead. I want you to finish up this page. If you need to pause me to look at this, go ahead and do that so you can see this. And then finish up this page where you're adding the monarch migration to our migration map. When you are finished, so pause now if you need to, because I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Okay, when you are finished, I want you to find a stuffy, find some Lego guys, find a brother or sister, find a mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, find a pet, find somebody that you can teach about the monarchs. Why do they migrate? Where do they go? Right? How do they migrate? What else do you know about them? What are the other facts that you can remember about monarchs? So go ahead and teach whoever you want to all the things that you know about monarchs. Okay. See you later.